Kasandra Ortiz joins us live with the latest details. Cassandra.
Caitlin, that's right. Check this out. This is what's left of the building after that early morning fire. A huge hole in the side of the building and a pile of rubble just nearby. And I even found a piece of the roof on the ground. And of course, obviously, it's raining. And one of the other things is the wind. I could feel it pulling my car. I can even feel it pulling me now. In fact, now they say the worst of Hurricane Irma for us here in central Georgia is going to be overnight tonight into tomorrow as well. Now, Macon-Bibb County says the biggest threat is going to be that wind that I was talking to you about. Good thing is Rock Candy Tour does both. They do them on Friday and Saturday, and they also take reservations in case you're interested. In Macon, Kasandra Ortiz, 13 WMAZ, Eyewitness News.
Probably zipping along there.
Yes,
Look,
it is.
Cassandra's getting some applause. Well done, Cassandra.
6:30 and 8:30 every day.
Okay.
And on Saturday and Sunday, we have a show also at 2:30.
Alrighty, perfect. Thank you so much. Now, you guys, I probably won't be doing that anytime soon, but there's one thing you haven't seen. They're going to drop all the way from the top, a 50-foot drop, but you'll have to come in here to the fair to see that. In Perry, Kasandra Ortiz, 13 WMAZ, Eyewitness News.
I thought they were going to drop Cassandra for a minute. No, thank you, Cassandra.
Sorry, it's been a while since I've hopped on a bike, as you can probably tell. A little shaky here, but with all these new bike lanes coming to Macon, I might make more of a habit of it, and so should you. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Superman hanging off the side of a building here in Macon. Up next, I'll tell you why. That Okmulgee Brew Pub will be opening soon, but when? I'll tell you coming up, and we'll take a tour of the beer brewing process. Millions are expected to travel this Thanksgiving, but will gas prices go up? AAA's predictions coming up. But they say it's here that they got a healing that goes much further than skin deep. Some people call this art form therapy.
All right, there it is. We're gonna let that dry for a few minutes.
And Cherry Street tattoo artist Kevin Dixon is using his talents to help women who've been through a battle.
You know, a lot of people don't know that it's an option.
A war against breast cancer.
Well, they've already gone through so much, and they've lost something that, you know, a part of their womanhood that is very difficult to get back. And this is kind of the last step, so it gives them that part of themselves back that they had lost.
Dixon helped Marianne Steinbach get back what she lost, replacing what once was just skin with 3D nipple tattoos. She got the news in April 2015.
It doesn't really help you accept it any easier when they tell you that, you know, your diagnosis is positive for cancer.
After months of treatment, Steinbach's doctor told her about the path to full reconstruction, or she could choose another route.
The second option he gave me was 3D tattooing. At the time, I had never heard of that. I didn't know that that was even an option. I chose to do that versus having another surgery.
Instead of going under the scalpel yet again, she went under the tattoo gun.
It made me feel better about myself, actually. Even though I'm the only one that sees it, you're not walking around topless. In your mind, you know that it's done, and you're back to looking as close to normal for yourself as you can.
Sally Crutchfield received her diagnosis in February of 2015.
I don't think you ever go back to your old normal. You find your new normal.
She says her tattoo reminds her every day of how far she's come.
At my year survivorship, the first thing I want to do is go get a tattoo. So I actually put the tattoo on my back, which is the cancer ribbon, and it's my story.
It's a tale that Dixon says makes a lasting impression.
It feels really good to be able to do something like this for people, you know. In tattooing, it's fun, and I get to put artwork on people all the time, but not all the artwork I do actually helps anybody.
With this, there's no question. The power of art and healing etched forever in ink. All seems calm on the Amerson River Park now, but the waters can be rough. Sunday, 17-year-old Marcos Mendez Perez came out to the river with his friends, but he never made it home.
Nunca llegué a pensar esto.
I never would have thought this would happen, at least not to me.
Lopez says they hadn't been in the river more than a few minutes when Perez began to drown.
It happened so fast because I saw he had passed behind me, but when I turned to see him in about 30 seconds, he was already jumping around in the water.
Lopez says he was looking after his daughter and never thought something like this would happen.
I was taking care of my daughter so that something like this wouldn't happen to her. but it happened to Marcos.
Lopez says this accident has opened his eyes about being responsible. He says take heed of the warning signs.
Yo no quisiera que a otras personas les suceda.
I don't want this to happen to anyone else. If you want to get in the water, be cautious.
Lopez says life will never be the same without his friend.
Toda persona se va a ir.
Everyone is going to die, but in each of us, we have a heart. It's what we loved about him, and it's going to be difficult to forget him. For me, I'll never forget him.
Nunca se va a olvidar.
And the families that lost their loved ones in the same waters leave memorials to let others know they will never forget theirs either. In Macon, Kasandra Ortiz, 13 WMAZ, Eyewitness News.
I don't know that the state of Georgia's ever seen this kind of damage from Valdosta all the way up to Macon and the Pecan Belt. It's pretty widespread.
Lawton Pearson says it's going to take about a month for them to clean up these downed limbs and fallen trees. And he says down the road, this damage may have an impact on the pecan season.
Obviously, the volume of nuts is going to be down. I don't know if that'll equate to an increased price. It could, but it may not. So all in all, we still have a crop of pecans we've got to pick up. We've got a lot of work to do, and we're just going to get after it.
He says even after a season full of bad weather, sometimes it's more helpful to be grateful for the trees that stood strong. In Fort Valley, Kasandra Ortiz, 13 WMAZ, Eyewitness News.
I think most people are not aware of what happens once the trash gets from your trash can to either the curbside or to the collection center.
He's not sure what happens to it, but Pastor Matthew Haywood of Bethlehem Baptist Church in Dublin religiously takes recyclables to the curb.
Plastic bottles, paper or flyers.
And across town,
we recycle anything we can recycle.
Marsha and Lori Jackson reuse containers, reclaim rainwater, and even collect biodegradable trash for composting.
Anything that will break down.
A truck picks it all up and takes it to a recycling facility in East Dublin, where it's all packed for a sorting facility in Milledgeville. Lawrence County works overtime on recyclables, collecting them from 4 other counties: Bleckley, Dodge, Toombs, and Johnson. And in the last 8 years, the recycling program grew from 242 tons a year to more than 1,500.
That was always my dream, was to be a trash man, so I guess I ended up where I was supposed to be.
Michael Snipes directs Lawrence County's landfill.
Every item that we can recycle and reuse is an item that doesn't have to be disposed of in that landfill.
And every little bit helps. This landfill received more than 27,000 tons of trash last year, but processing it here didn't cost taxpayers a dime. Residents pay private companies for pickup, and those fees fund the facility. Trucks dump trash here, then a machine smushes it to save space.
When you have a resource like the landfill, that you do conserve as much airspace as you can.
Snipes says the process, along with recycling, should squeeze out another 74 years at the landfill, supporting a whole new generation of recyclers.
We just don't like to see it end up in the landfill if it doesn't have to.
The Jacksons say it opens up new possibilities for the future and routes trash to an option beyond the landfill. In Dublin, Kasandra Ortiz, 13 WMAZ, Eyewitness News.